So, maganda kamalayan uli at sana ay palagi kayo tumatangkilik ng aking programang Feel Good with Tato. At sa araw na ito ay ating itutuloy ang ating kurso na inahanda natin dito sa programa tuwing ganitong oras, alas 5, pag live kayo. Pero, as I've said, you can watch me in my Wow Very Good Live page dito ngayon at live din tayo. At aside from that, you can also watch this particular video in my YouTube channel, Kamalayan channel. So, lahat yan ay inyong mapapanood. Kung saan ay maririnig ninyo ang mga salita ng ayoko sabihin ng salita ng Diyos sapagkat pag dirabi ko ngayon, akala nyo Biblia ang aking pag-uusapan. Pero basically, it is really the Word of God that I am discussing here through the book called Conversations with God, which I am holding here right now. At ito ay aking dinidiscuss dito in terms of, well, it's parang in a study group class na kung saan ay sana ay masabayan ninyo ako kahit wala kayong mismong libro na ito. What I normally would do naman is I would actually read passages from this and discuss the exact meaning or the exact interpretation, or not exactly the exact interpretation kasi marami naman pwedeng interpretasyon sa mga aking binabasa rito. Pero sa palagay ko, ito yung aking pananaw na maintindihan ninyo na mas madali. Alright. So, to start with, as I've started this a long time ago, we have finished 5 chapters already. So, hindi ko na babalikan yan. If you're interested in them, try to go back to our YouTube channel. Nandun lahat yung mga videos ko which actually would deal with all the chapters, from chapter 1 to chapter 5. Ngayon ay dito lang tayo ngayon sa chapter 6. And dito sa chapter 6 ay marami tayong mga i-discuss o pag-uusapan. Lalong-lalo na may kilalaman sa ngayong I would say mga events or mga nakikita natin mga kaganapan na para bang tayo ay nakakaramdam ng kahirapan o ng suffering na ang tanong ng karamihan ay bakit ba nangyayari itong klaseng suffering sa buhay natin o sa buhay ng karamihan sa mga kababayan natin. At dito nga sa Conversations with God, ating pwedeng talakayin ang bagay na ito na from the point of view of God. Ito ang maganda rito Hindi from the point of view of a politician or a Filipino citizen only. I mean, na kung saan ay marami na tayo nadinig niyan sa TV, sa radyo, nabasa na natin sa periodiko ang mga kanya-kanyang opinion as to what is really going on. Pero dito, we will discuss something that comes straight from God. If you believe that this is from God talaga, no? As I've said, I've been using the book of Neil Donald Walsh here. He had a conversation with God. And so dito natin ibe-base itong pinag-uusapan natin ngayon. Ang tanong, in chapter 6, why doesn't God just make it possible for us to put an end to suffering? Bakit naman pinapahirapan pa tayo ng Diyos? Bakit hindi na lang pwedeng sabihin na, okay, enough, tama na, tapos na, tanggalin na natin yung suffering. Alright. Yan ang isang bagay na, I would say, issue na wala tayo talagang direct na masasabing sagot dahil Ang sinasabi ng iba, pinarurusahan tayo ngayon dahil sa mga pinagagawa natin. Ang sabi naman ng iba, talagang nagbago na ang panahon, marami ng mga masasama na nangyayari o marami ng masasamang tao, kaya tayo ay nagkakagulo-gulo. So yun ang mga bagay na nakikita natin, nababasa natin, nadidinig natin sa radyo, sa television at sa mga dyaryo, no? Pero ito nga, umpisa natin sa pamamagitan ng isang passage from the book. Ang sinasabi dito ni God, while he was talking to Neil Donald Walsh, he was talking to Neil Donald Walsh through channeling, handwriting. Sinusulat ni God through Neil yung mga sagot niya. So, habang nadidinig ni Neil yung answer ni God, ay sinusulat niya ito. At ito yung mga naisulat niya. Ang sabi ni God, I am not pleased by suffering. And whoever says I am does not know me. Suffering is an unnecessary aspect of the human experience. It is not only unnecessary, it is unwise, uncomfortable, and hazardous to your health. Oh, yan ang isang kakaibang mensahe natin from the same God that we are talking about, or maybe a different God. Kasi nga, sabi nga natin, we believe in a God, we believe in God, pero pag tinanong mo, what kind of beliefs do you have about God? Doon nagkakaroon ng iba-ibang interpretasyon. Yan ang isang bagay na ayoko nang i-discuss dito dahil kanya-kanya tayong, I would say, mga paniniwala. So, hindi natin pag-debatehin yan. We will not fight over that. Ito lang yung gusto kong i-discuss, i-share. Alright? So, from page 105, tutuloy ko na lang itong kon. Yan na nga. Maganda yung sinabi na yun. I am not pleased by suffering, and whoever says I am does not know me. Suffering is an unnecessary aspect of the human experience. It is not only unnecessary, it is unwise, uncomfortable, and hazardous to health. Wow. Tapos ang sagot ni Neil Donald Walsh, ang sagot ni Neil Donald Walsh was that, then why is there so much suffering? Tinanong niya, bakit laganap ang suffering sa mundong ito? Why don't you, if you are God, put an end to it if you dislike it so much? Bakit hindi mo na itigil talaga kung talagang ayaw mo pala? Yun ang tinanong niya. Neil was really having this kind of a desperate moment with God in terms of the way he would ask this question. Para bang, Diyos ka na eh, bakit hindi mo itigil itong mga bagay na ito nangyayari sa atin? Ang sagot ni God ulit, pakinggan nyo, ang ganda. I have put an end to it. You simply refuse to use the tools I have given you with which to realize that. You see, suffering has nothing to do with them. Suffering doesn't have to do anything with events, but with one's reaction to them. Wow! Pakinggan niyo ulit. Suffering has nothing to do with events, but with one's reaction to them. What's happening is merely what's happening. How you feel about it is another matter. I have given you the tools with which to respond and react to events in a way which reduces, in fact, eliminates pain, but you have not used them. Wow! Yun ang isang mensahe na kailangan natin marinig sa panahong ito. Akala kasi natin, ang Diyos ay pinarurusahan tayo. Pero ito nga, kabaligtaran pala ang sinasabi. Kung kayo naniniwala that these are the real words of God through Neil Donald Walsh. Ang sagot ka ni Kwan uli, ang sagot ni Neil, excuse me, but why not eliminate the events? Sinabi niya uli kay God. Ang sabi ni God, a very good suggestion. Unfortunately, I have no control over them. Oh, God doesn't have control over them. And then sagot nga ni Neil, you have no control over events? And then God said, of course not. Events are occurrences in time and space which you produce out of choice and will. Out of choice. And sagot niya, and I will never interfere with choices. To do so would be to obviate the very reason I created you. But I've explained all this before. Wow, ito yung magandang, siguro at this point, pag-usapan natin to. To do this would be to obviate the very reason I created you. So if God created us, and then, why would He say to do so would be to obviate? That means, God has given us the power, the creative power, the God power that He actually was assuring all of us that we all have the God power within us. Bakit hindi mo ginagamit? Yan na nga. Some events you produce willfully and some events you draw to you, more or less unconsciously. Some events, major natural disasters, are among those you toss into this category, are written off to fate. Parang akala natin, sinadya na ng tadhana na mangyari sa atin ito. Yet even fate can be an acronym for from all thoughts everywhere. From all, F, from all, A, all, thoughts, T, everywhere, E. In other words, the consciousness of the planet, the collective consciousness, tanong ni Neil Donald Walsh, precisely, exactly. Okay, ito yung maganda. Kamalayan. Okay. That's why ako talaga, I'm so gung-ho about in explaining what kamalayan or consciousness is all about. Kasi dito talaga sinasabi, everything that is happening in our world is because of what we are thinking about collectively as people, as a group. At ang talong dyan is, ano ang umiiral na collective consciousness ngayon? Etong mga pinag-iisip natin na mga negative na bagay, na kung saan lumabas nga ngayon sa ating mga daily life ngayon, itong mga coronavirus, itong taal, these are basically brought about by our consciousness. We create our reality. Yun yung konsepto ng kamalayan, ng consciousness. Everything that we see in our world is what we have created or what we are still creating. Ang tanong, ano ang kine-create natin? Bakit ito ang lumalabas? So, okay, kailangan baguhin natin ang kamalayan. Okay, paano ba binabago ang kamalayan? Kasi nga, pag lahat na yan, mass consciousness tawag natin, iisa lang ang iniisip, yun ang lalabas na reality ng karamihan sa atin, sa buhay natin. Ano example? Paano ba nagkakaroon ng collective consciousness? Lahat tayo, individually, may kamalayan. We have individual consciousness. Alright? Kung ano yung mundo ko, brought about by my own beliefs, yun ang umiiral sa aking kapaligiran, sa aking mga nakikitang mga tao na kapiling ko at the moment. Iba-iba tayo. Yan ang individual consciousness. But the same consciousness of everyone na kung saan nagkatugma o nagkaisa would bring about a collective consciousness that would now create the kind of, well, whatever is there. Kung maganda, maganda sana yung nakikita natin. Kung hindi naman maganda, dahil sa hindi maganda iniisip ng karamihan, wala. Example na lang. Bigyan ko kayo ng example as to how we really create this kind of reality. Yung mga tumataya sa loto, individual yan. Kanya-kanya tayong numero. Ang dami nating mga bettors na kung saan kanya-kanyang numero ang nilalagay dyan na pag inano na nila yan, nilagay na, tinayaan na, wala na nanalo, karamihan. Di ba? Kadalasan, wala na nanalo. Ang tagal bago makakita ng isang panalo. Pero normally, ang tagal bago nagkakaroon ng isang panalo. Bakit ganon? Ang tagal kung saan umaabot ng ilang milyon na, nagpapatong-patong na yung pera, wala pa rin nakakakuha ng grand prize. Why? Because ito nga yung example na pinag-uusapan ko. Iba-iba ang numero na tinatayaan natin. Iba-iba yung nasa isipan natin. So, walang nagkatugma. Ngayon, kung gusto mo makuha yung grand prize, ito yung sekreto sa loto na hindi alam ng karamihan. Makipag-usap ka sa isang barangay, isang numero lang ang tayaan nyo. Sasabihin nyo, ito tatayaan natin, isang numero lang, ambag-ambag tayo dito. Pag nanalo, hati-hati tayo. Siguro naman, sa laki ng premyo, masaya lahat. Kahit nasabihin mo marami kang kahati. Pero that would actually make your chances more, strong in winning the jackpot. That is precisely what I'm talking about. Kasi pag marami na nag-iisip ng ganon, isa na lang ang iniisip, yun ang nakikreate nyo in your reality. Ito ang sinasabi natin, collective consciousness. So, nakuha ba ninyo? Naintindihan? Hindi. Di ba? Mayroon tayong mga dito kasama. Si Yul, dito. At si Sensei. At siguro, ewan ko kung nakikinig sila sa sinasabi ko.
This is exactly the concept of Edgar Casey.
Collective. So, ito, balikan na natin. Alright. So, ito ngayon ang sinasabi ko ng kuwan natin, no? Usapan dito. Yung suffering. It is our collective consciousness that have created this suffering. It's not God who is punishing us. Kaya kung gusto natin baguhin ang takbo ng ating mundo, baguhin natin ang kamalayan natin. Alright. Tuloy-tuloy ko. There are those who say the world is going to hell in a handbasket. Our ecology is dying. Our planet is in for a major geophysical disaster. Earthquakes, volcanoes, maybe even a tilting of the earth on its axis. And then there are others who say collective consciousness can change all that we can save the earth with our thoughts. Okay, sinagot siya ni God. Thoughts put into action. If enough people everywhere believe something must be done to help the environment, you will save the earth. But you must work fast. So much damage has already been done for so long. This will take a major attitudinal shift. Attitude. Pagbabago ng mga ating paniniwala tungkol sa sarili natin, sa kamalayan natin. You mean, if you don't, we will see the earth and its inhabitants destroyed? Ang tanong ni Neil Donald Walsh. Sabi ni God, I have made the laws of the physical universe clear enough for anyone to understand. There are laws of cause and effect which have been sufficiently outlined to your scientists, physicists, and through them to your world leaders. these laws don't need to be outlined once more here. Totoo naman, binigay na sa atin ang mga universal laws and principles. Ginagamit ba natin? Ang alam lang natin yung law of attraction. yung naging popular na law of cause and effect na law of attraction. Which is basically, yes, that's true. But sa akin kamalayan nga, alam ko, there are 15 laws, universal laws that we can really talk about. But in Kamalayan, I specifically use only 7 universal laws. So yan, ang tanong ko sa inyo, how are you able to use these universal laws? And specify ni God. Getting back to suffering, ang tanong ni Neil, where did we even get the idea that suffering was good? That the saintly suffer in silence? Sabi ni God, the saintly do suffer in silence, but that does not mean suffering is good. The students in the school of mastery suffer in silence because they understand that suffering is not the way of God, but rather a sure sign that there is still something to learn of the way of God. Still something to remember. All right. So yun yung talong, what is the purpose of suffering? So ito ang sinasagot, ito din yung sinasabi. The true master does not suffer in silence at all, but only appears to be suffering without complaint. The reason that the true master does not complain is that the true master is not suffering, but simply experiencing a set of circumstances that you would call insufferable. Sino ba mga masters na alam natin na nagsuffer? Well, Jesus was also, he suffered, no? He's considered a master. We know, we make real that to which we pay attention. A practicing master does not speak of suffering simply because a master practicing clearly understands the power of the word and so chooses to simply not say a word about it. Does not speak of suffering because, alam nyo, ito yung sabi ko nga, kailangan natin maintindihan din. The moment we talk about a lot of our problems, we discuss our perennial problems, the more we will create that in our world. The more we will attract more problems into our lives. So dapat pag, meron ka nararamdaman o may problema ka, sarili mo muna. Huwag mo nang i-broadcast yan. At huwag ka nang magdamay pa ng marami dyan well, of course, a lot of broadcasters, that's what they do. Yun ang trabaho nila to talk about these things. Kaya ako, basically, when I watch television, especially the news, I just look at the headlines. Tapos nun, hindi ko na pinapanood yung ibang parts. Dahil, yun na nga ayaw ko ma-imbibe. This is exactly what is meant here. A practicing master does not speak of suffering simply because a master practicing clearly understands the power of the word and so chooses to simply not say a word about it. Kaya nga, hindi ko pwede sabihin, ay nako, ang hirap ng buhay. May sabi mo ganun, mahirap ang buhay. Mahirap talaga lalabas ang buhay mo. Yan ang isang bagay na hindi naintindihan na karamihan. Ang yabang pa natin, sabihin natin na, ganito na talaga ang panahon. Talaga ang takbo, wala na talaga tayong pag-asa. Sa'yo. Yan ang sinasabi mo. Yan ang mangyayari sa buhay mo. Kung ayaw mong ganon, pwede mong baliktarin. At sabihin mo, ibang na maganda ang takbo ng buhay mo, maganda ang lalabas. So, ito yung mga bagay na talaga kailangan natin na intindihan, no? Kaya nga ito, I cannot not talk about it today. Kasi ito yung nararamdaman ng karamihan sa atin. But we really have to know exactly when to stop from making it, mas laganap pa sa mundo natin. Itong mga nangyayaring ayaw natin sanang mangyari. Alright. The word has really that kind of power. No? That's why we have to be careful with the words we say or we actually discuss. No? Ito nga, we make real that to which we pay attention. Kung ano yung binibigyan mo ng focus, ng attention mo, yun ang mangyayari. You will realize that. You will make it real. The master knows this. The master places himself at choice with regard to that which she chooses to make real. You have all done this from time to time. There is not one among you who has not made a headache disappear or a visit to the dentist less painful through your decision about it. A master simply makes the decision about larger things. Alright. So, di ba? Yun yung ko talaga eh. Hindi mo naman matatanggal ang sakit ng ulo. Pero bakit mo pa palalakihin yung sakit ng ulo mo? I mean, hindi pa pag iniisip mo lalo sa sakit ng ulo mo. But why have suffering at all? Tanong ni Neil. Why have even the possibility of suffering? Sabi ni God, you cannot know and become that which you are in the absence of that which you are not, as I have already explained to you. Kung walang black, walang white. That's why merong white, dahil may black. In the absence of something, hindi mo malalaman. Kaya nga kailangan may opposite yan. So, ganun lang pala yun. Yung suffering at saka yung enjoyment, it's basically just two poles apart from each other. So, bakit mo pinipili yung isa lang side? Pwede naman yung opposite nun. Alright. I still don't understand how he ever got the idea that suffering was good. Sabi ni Neil. Sabi ni God, you are wise to be insistent in questioning that. The original wisdom surrounding suffering in silence has become so perverted that now many believe and several religions actually teach that suffering is good and joy is bad. Therefore, you have decided that if someone has cancer but keeps it to himself, he is a saint. Whereas if someone has to pick a dynamite topic about robust sexuality and celebrates it openly, she is a sinner. Di ba? Ganun tayo eh. Pag isang tao pinag-uusapan niya yung parang malalaswa, pero basically, hindi naman malaswa yun. Sasabihin mo kagad, judgmental kagad tayo, makasalanan yan. Boy, you did pick a dynamite topic, sabi ni Neil, and you cleverly changed the pronoun to from male to female. Was that to make a point? Sabi ni God, it was to show you your prejudices. You don't like to think of women having robust sexuality, much less celebrating it openly. Kasi nga naman, ang kadalasan who talk openly about sex is mga lalaki, yung mga babae, bihira. Pero dito, ang pinasabi niya, babae ang nagsasabi niyan. You would rather see a man dying without a whimper on the battlefield than a woman making love with a whimper in the street. Wouldn't you? Sabi ni Neil. Ang sagot ni God, I have no judgment one way or the other. Okay, hindi siya judgmental. But you have all sorts of them. And I suggest that it is your judgments that keep you from joy and your expectations which make you unhappy. All of this put together is what causes you disease. And therein begins your suffering. Okay. So, ang tanong nga uli ni Neil, how do I know that what you are saying is true? How do I know this is even God speaking and not my overactive imagination? Sabi ni God, you've asked that before. My answer is the same. What difference does it make? Even if everything I've said is wrong, can you think of a better way to live? Sabi ni Neil, no. Then wrong is right and right is wrong. Yet, I'll tell you this. To help you out of your dilemma, believe nothing. Simply live it. Experience it. Then live whatever other paradigm you want to construct. Afterward, look to your experience to find your truth. One day, if you have a great deal of courage, you will experience a world when making love is considered better than making war. On that day will you rejoice. Yun ang magandang mga mensahe sa atin ni God dito sa chapter 6. I have just ended chapter 6, finally. So, ang ganda ng mga sinabi.